Okay, DC, let's move into our next fight preview. We got Anthony Joshua facing off against Joseph Parker, March the 31st, 2018 in Cardiff. And we want to see, we're going to preview this fight. This is the second time we previewing it, by the way. We did a previous one when I was just by myself, when I just had the idea to say, let's do one. I know you have some thoughts that you want to throw in there, too, on this fight. You got, and let me line them up first of all. You got Anthony Joshua, the number one heavyweight fighter in the world, carrying 3 belts, 3 championship belts, obviously into this bout, and he is 20-0 with 20 knockouts. He's from the United Kingdom. A lot of people in the U.S. don't know about Anthony Joshua, but trust me, by the end of this year, you're gonna know who Anthony Joshua is. Because Deontay Wilder and him definitely gonna get something done by the end of this year. Because
people ain't know about Lennox Lewis either until he magically jumped on the radar.
Right, you gonna know who Anthony Joshua is. If you don't know who Anthony Joshua is, you got a damn smartphone. Google his name, because this guy here is awesome. 20 knockouts, 20 fights, 20 knockouts. So everybody get in the ring get destroyed. Sound like somebody you might know from the United States. Not as many fights, being that Deontay has 20 more knockouts.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mike Tyson.
Man, knockout power, both hands, complete boxer.
That's who Anthony Joshua kind of reminds me of. I mean,
he does. And Mike Tyson,
in a way,
to a degree. Listen to the comments Mike Tyson made about him. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, Anthony Joshua holds 3 belts. He's the IBO heavyweight title holder. He's the WBA Super World Heavyweight title holder, and he's the IBF, the International Boxing Federation World Heavyweight title holder. 3 belts he holds, and he is going up against Mr. Joseph Parker. Interesting guy here.
From New Zealand.
He's quite
probably the best boxer they ever had from New Zealand.
Probably so. Well, he knocked out an old man from down there.
That was messed up, man.
I can't. Frank Wabotha.
That fat guy with the fat guy with no hair.
Francois Botha. He knocked out Francois Botha
at bleeding and stuff.
Yeah, he knocked him out.
But
yeah, that was something bad.
It's pretty bad.
Anthony Joshua going against Joseph Parker. This man's 24-0, 18 knockouts. So you got these big heavyweights. Joshua 6'6" with an 83-inch reach, and then you got a guy like Joseph Parker who is 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. You got these big heavyweights, and all of these guys is just exciting in heavyweight division now. With Ortiz, who was undefeated, you got Deontay, who's undefeated, you got Joshua, who's undefeated, then you got Anthony Parker, who's 24-0, 18 knockouts, and this guy is like we say, he's from New Zealand. He's also a heavyweight title holder. He holds the WBO, the World Boxing Organization World Heavyweight title. So we have 4 belts in this fight alone between these guys. Right. By the end of the day, the 31st, that night, you'll have a guy holding 4 heavyweight belts. So 1 belt away from unifying the heavyweight division is definitely possible. And if you look at it, DC, I lined it all up as Parker, an excellent fighter as well, fought some really good boxers. With that said, what is your thinking on these 2 great fighters? Who comes out the winner?
I think this fight is going to be similar to the
I know you didn't
Wilder
get a chance to
Ortiz
speak
fight.
Your piece. Go ahead and
right.
speak it.
I think it's going to be similar to the Wilder Ortiz fight. I think it's going to be an excellent fight. Parker is not a guy to really overlook. I mean, he's from New Zealand. Of course, us here in America, we don't hear a lot about these guys until they make it onto the radar. But if you follow his career, I mean, 24 fights, 18 knockouts. He don't had 100% knockout rate like Anthony Joshua, but
correct.
That's still very impressive. He fought some bums, and he's fought a lot of good fighters too. He actually has the sentiments of a champion. Evander Holyfield really likes Parker, and he's telling Anthony Joshua to not overlook him.
Right.
This guy is the real deal. And from what I see him, man, he has a very unique style. He's a traditional boxer. He's orthodox, but he can hit you with some type like weird angles. He tears people up with hooks. He coming with them hooks, man, trying to take your head off. He throws uppercuts in the whole 9. Like, he gets in and he goes to work. This guy throws combos and his shots are hard. So he ain't no little dude either. We talk about how big Anthony Joshua is, how menacing he is, as hard as punches is. Parker ain't nobody you want to overlook. So Anthony Joshua has a similar fight to what Deontay Wilder has. I don't think he's going to come in here and just stay clean the whole fight and look basically untouchable. If he does, it'll be pretty amazing. Then I'll have a whole nother line of respect for Anthony Joshua. But I think this is a fight that's actually going to challenge him, push him to think, push him to be cautious, and use that incredible skill as being a tactician that he is to use the sweet science. I think we're going to see some figuring each other out with these guys. Moving on into the middle rounds, you start to see the action pick up, and somebody going to fall. This ain't going to be no fight, I think, that goes to the 12th round on the cards. Somebody's going down. It could be Anthony Joshua. We know he's hitting the mat before. It came from a champion, Vladimir Klitschko. But Parker is a guy that's capable in giving him a serious challenge and possibly putting him on the mat as well. So, in my opinion, I think Anthony Joshua wins this fight, and it's based on him what happens. It's all in his court and based on how he views the fight. If he comes out cocky and arrogant and tries to give the people a show, he could be in for a rude awakening. But if he uses that boxing mind that he has, I don't think that he loses this fight. But Parker, on the other hand, is a guy that could pull off the upset. He's a very impressive fighter when you follow his footage and his tape. I haven't seen a punch that he can't land. He has a nice size and reach to match Anthony Joshua, and he can take some shots as well. So this is going to be a very interesting fight. But I see Anthony Joshua winning this fight around the 8th round for a knockout.
I had called this, this fight before. You already seen my sentiment. I said, and I'm gonna stick to it, just like I said for the Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz fight, that they was going to beat him in a late round TKO situation.
Right.
In this fight, I'm gonna say the same thing because both these guys gonna get in there. They're gonna figure each other out.
Similar fight, man. It's very similar.
Both these guys gonna do the same thing, and I just, if you look at it. I think about it, I said, you know what? I look at the resume of a guy like Joesph Parker, and I say to myself, Anthony Joshua is a far distance from Huey Fury, from Andy Ruiz Jr., right, from Alexander Dimitriko, which I actually like Alexander Dimitriko, the Russian heavyweights that got. He's a pretty good one, and he just kind of beat him up pretty good. So that's a far cry. And I'm going to give it to Anthony Joshua because I think Joshua punches are going to mount up on him. But I think eventually he's going to knock him out in the later rounds. So that's our called on that fight, Parker versus Joshua. March the 31st, 2018. Y'all have it ready. Y'all have your popcorn ready because it's going to be another explosive heavyweight fight as well. And speaking of more heavyweight bouts, we're going to cover the Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G bout. We'll preview it on the other side of the break. We'll also give you some news that Canelo Alvarez tested dirty. We'll give you that news on the side of the break. Listen to the Sports Cone.